Hello Leo, Leo Rising and Leo Moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for March 2017. A quick reminder for you guys, remember these are monthly seasonal horoscopes, which means they mostly cover like the whole month. Alright, so if you're looking for things on a more short-term, day-to-day, maybe even a weekly basis, I highly recommend you check out the weekly horoscopes. And even if you only like astrology, the first half is astrology exclusively, so there's something for everyone. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with this month? Well, Leo, we have an unprecedented amount of planetary activity in Aries, which is your 9th house, your travel, government legal proceedings, your spiritual community, your academia, anything to do with scholarship, anything to do with broadcasting, multimedia, basically your connection to the world and the world community at large in a lot of ways. And so we're going to be spending a lot of time talking about this one area, because we're going to have Venus there, Mercury there, the Sun there, a new moon there, and Uranus all there. So it's a very expansive kind of month for you. Now this all starts off when Jupiter, the planet of luck, abundance, and wealth, currently retrograde in your 3rd house of communications, forms a gorgeous connection to Uranus in this 9th house. So we've got both our communications areas working for us. Now remember, Jupiter is retrograde, which means that it's looking for hidden treasures. It's looking for buried treasures in our own backyard. And we are finding some kind of hidden treasure in a person during this time. And this may be somebody who is coming into your life from a foreign land, a foreign spiritual culture, a foreign maybe business culture, something along those lines. There's somebody who's going to be sort of a new mentor, a new Yoda, or a new Obi-Wan, or a new Gandalf, so to speak, type of person. I am a nerd, by the way. So we have this new person showing up over the first 3 weeks, and this is sort of meant to be a teacher that comes your way in a way that's either mentoring you in your schooling, mentoring you in your spiritual life, mentoring you in your business life. And this is meant to kind of be somebody who gives you the upgrade, the know-how, and sort of the evolution that you need in these areas. They're really taking you under their wing during this time. And it looks like they are going to be closer and nearer at hand, even though they're coming from afar. But you do want to pay attention to what they're teaching, and where we need to be sort of growing out of some of our old standbys, or some of our older tactics, or older standards, or the usual way we do things. It's time for us to go through a bit of an update, bit of an upgrade, find out where we've been too attached to maybe old processes and old procedures that we need to release and catch up with our own personal times. We also have Venus turning retrograde at the beginning of the month in that 9th house, and that means this situation could not come at a better time. Because when Venus is retrograde, it's not the same as a Mercury retrograde. I keep needing to let people know that, because some people hear retrograde and they think the rules are all the same, and it's really not. Whereas Mercury retrograde plays on the mind, and on communications, Venus retrograde plays on the emotions, connectivity. There are 3 things we always got to pay attention to when it comes to Venus retrograde. You know, there's the issue of temptation, the issue of insecurities and trust, and the issues of instant gratification. And this is going on again in that 9th house. So you may be feeling like loyalties to a demographic that you're working with, a community that you're in, are starting to wane a little bit. We might not feel like we can trust people in a certain group. We may not be feeling as emotionally attached or emotionally fulfilled by, say, a spiritual group, or a school group, or a networking group. And, excuse me, I think that that's what this person or this mentor opportunity is all about. We're kind of fishing you out of a pond you've gotten either too big for, or we're kind of just getting you away from a place that is leading you astray. However, with Venus retrograde here, there is going to be the issue of loyalty. Whether it's issue of social loyalty, political loyalty, spiritual loyalty, brand loyalty. A lot of what's happening for a lot of Leo people this month has a lot to do with what are we doing to feel good in the moment that's not helping us in when we're playing a bigger game, when we're looking at the bigger picture. You know, sometimes what happens with Venus retrograde is we have a tendency to be tempted to sell out a little bit, or we may not want to acknowledge some dysfunctions with a group that we're in. And so there's going to be a cognitive dissonance there. But you know what they say, you know, the sign of great intelligence is the ability to hold on to two opposing views and still function. So this is one of those months where we have to be able to do that, but also see where maybe these people are just meant to be friends, you know, maybe these people are not really meant to be people who are our mentors. These are not people who are meant to be our peers in the strictest of senses. And I honestly feel like a lot of evolving out of the identity that you've cultured with them is going to be a big part of March. Now, luckily, we've also got Mars going into Taurus, into your 10th house of career in the early part of the month as well. So a lot of you Leo people are going to be cashing in on this evolution very much. Because whenever Mars goes into our 10th house, we gain competitive advantages. We gain competitive advantages when it comes to promotion, when it comes to making more money. Whenever Mars is in a money area, house 10, house 6, house 2, we always see an opportunity to score some extra overtime, extra productivity, and extra pay. And so there's something that's setting you apart. And we have to find a way with Mars to kind of, again, work on getting away from doing something the same old way. You know, that might mean going against a corporate standard or a business standard. Maybe even going against what you're known for as, you know, yourself, as your own personal entity, if you own your own business. Maybe we've been realizing we've been going down a road that's kind of leading to a dead end, and this Mars is saying, guess what, we don't even need to do a 180, we're just going to knock down a wall. So it's actually a really nice boost. Mars in the 10th house also puts you in a position of connecting with other people who are very powerful leaders in their own way. Okay, so that might be something where, you know, a lot of you Leos are going to notice this month is going to be very strong for you. Now, moving on from that, as we get into the end of the first week, beginning of the second week, we've got a full moon in Virgo, in your second house, your earned income sector. And a lot of you Leo people may be finding better opportunities and moving on. Some of you may actually have been looking for a new job. And this full moon is going to prompt you over the course of of this month to put in your notice. Now some of you may be trying to apply the Mercury retrograde rule to the Venus retrograde rule and say, but should I do it during the retrograde? Yes. Yes, don't mix the rules up. Because Venus is not the same when it's retrograde, and it's not in that house, so it's okay. And this is going to prompt you to, again, move on. Anyway, we've got Mars in your 10th house. Some of you are going to be either promoting yourselves, going into a different position at work. Some of you may be actually just dumping a job for a better job. A lot of you who've been maybe having a hard time finding employment or finding new sources of revenue, even if you're not looking for full-time employment, are going to find that and totally switch gears in the beginning parts of this month. Now later on, okay, we've got Mercury and the Sun both moving into that 9th house. And this is great for those of you that are looking to maybe speed up an academic or legal process that has been taking far too long. Because Mercury tends to hurry things up. And if you've been having a hard time with that, obtaining permits, obtaining permissions, maybe there is a legal situation, a lawsuit that's been taking too long to, to settle itself. Maybe some of you are trying to work abroad, gain scholarship, get a visa, a work visa, a student visa. We finally have those communications circulating, thank goodness. And with Mercury here, we also have opportunity for travel. Big opportunities for travel during this time. Just be careful again with that Venus retrograde of doing anything too impulsively. Remember, think about playing a longer game. It does no good with that Venus retrograde to do something to make yourself feel better in the moment if it's going to cost you in the long run. Okay, focus on solutions, not relief. The Sun here is also talking about getting more mileage, though, out of new resources that you're getting, out of new resources that you have. So again, we're expanding our social circle, and we're kind of surrounding ourselves with experts. We're surrounding ourselves with people who have kind of cultured a sort of expertise. Whether it's, in the field of study that we're in, we may actually find an opportunity to get to work while we're not even, before we even finish school or finish our PhD program. Or we may be getting more mileage out of an attorney, or maybe even somebody who's working for us, an accountant. Maybe we're handling our taxes, Maybe we're in a lawsuit situation or a financial situation that we need to have settled. The sun is making it wrap up a lot more cleanly and a lot more easily during this time as well. And the sun's going to be here all the way up until the 20th of April, so you don't have to worry about it just coming and going. After that, towards the end of the month, okay, we've got a new moon in your 9th house. And so we have you taking on a new spiritual or possibly even a new philosophical identity. You know, this is the kind of moon where we see this enlightenment kind of moment happen, where people are taking things more seriously, where people are actually, when they say going deep, it's not going deep, I'm thinking about feelings today. No, that's not that kind of going deep. This is like way more substantial than that. And I think that with this new moon, a lot of you Leo people are going to be having some kind of awakening experience. Something's going to be made real for you during this time. It does kind of give off, a very, like, this is way more cosmic than just an exercise. And that might change a lot of your perspective on how you handle your personal spiritual practice, how you relate, again, to your spiritual path or your religion, if you are a part of an organized religion. But it's also a time for you to excel in there, to evolve in there. And to perhaps even develop a culture, a bit of mastery and a bit of resilience handling that. Because again, this whole month is about evolving you through these kinds of communities. This new moon can also indicate an opportunity for maybe even a permanent move. For those of you who are looking to make a permanent travel move, whether it's to move again out of town, or maybe even to move and live abroad. I also like this moon because it does 1,000,001 different things, and the "and one" part has to do with you broadcasting yourself. Those of you who are looking to do any kind of promotions, be careful, okay, remember, mind the Venus retrograde and how you do it, but the new moon here could indicate a new way to sort of broadcast yourself, reach a bigger customer base, reach a bigger audience, or reach a bigger social support system or support group during this time. And this may even bring an opportunity for love and romance, but we don't want to just jump on it right away. That is because this new moon is very close to Venus retrograde in this area. So there may be love that can come from this, but again, I'm saying to wait. Enjoy the flirtation and enjoy the temptation, but don't act on it just yet if this is what happens to you. Okay, so make sure that you just kind of, see where it goes, but again, wait till Venus is direct in April. Finally, we've got Mercury moving into your 10th house of career. And this energy is going to be speeding up to a nice, I guess you could say a nicer pace, any kind of financial or professional processes that have been delayed, taking too long. Sometimes we have this show up just in time. Say a boss was promising you a raise or a promotion, and they've been saying it for months, and at this point in time it's just lip service. Well, maybe not so much with Mercury moving into your 10th house. We actually have them making good on a promise. In fact, promises will be made good on professionally when it comes to Mercury in the 10th, and that actually does sweeten the deal of how things kind of end in March and begin in April. So that is your horoscope for March, Leo. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.